Hello everybody, GL1 here. Welcome to my online toy museum. And today I'm going to be doing a comparison between the rather new legacy version of Megatron from Transformers Armada and the Galvatron, which really is the same thing as Megatron, just in different colors. The Galvatron from the 2002 Armada series, the original toy. And he's all armored up because attached to him is a tidal wave, and I will explain that to you as well. All right, so let me tell you the first thing that you'll notice is this is significantly smaller. I mean, you can see even the height and the legs. You can see that this Megatron is taller than, Galvatron taller than Megatron. And the fact that you can attach Tidal Wave, which is an aircraft carrier, to him and armor him up and power him up. And that's what Transformers Armada was all about. It was all about powering up, using other robots to give you more power. Well, this legacy version is really a sad tribute to that, I think. It has better articulation, sure. You know, I mean, you can move the joints and the hips and everything. You can put them in, you know, some cool poses and stuff like that. But this was originally $45. I found one for $20 on clearance at Walmart, but even for $20, I mean, nowadays $20 would be fine. But when you compare, I know it's, 23 years later, but when you compare what you got for $25 with Megatron back then to what you get for $45, with Megatron now, big difference. Not so great. All right, so this is what you got. He doesn't fire any missiles. He doesn't light up. He doesn't make any sounds. This is supposed to be like a battle shield that you could see I can put up and down on the original one. It looks like it moves here, but it doesn't. You can flip this down and then flip one up, and then it goes like that. But that comes off and goes back on. But that's just to cover his face, so when he's in his tank mode. So it really doesn't have any real function as far as, being like he's armoring up his face. So it's just kind of dumb as far as that goes. Yeah, you have the gun here. Like I said, doesn't fire any missile. The original one, you can even see the spring. It's meant to fire, and it's supposed to make a sound. I do have to tell you, though, that it did stop making that sound. It makes other sounds, but that part doesn't work. You have this here that comes off, and that comes off really... I thought maybe you would be able to attach this somewhere else on him. I have yet to find a spot where you can make use of that. Like, maybe it would stick on his arm or something like that. I haven't found it. See, that doesn't flip out. It doesn't do anything. It just comes off, and then you're like, oh, let me put it back on. And that's all that does. So you can't add any other robots to him, but you do have spaces here where you can add other weapons. So if you have weapons like from some other set, you can do that. All right, doesn't come with any. All right, so now we get back to what's really cool is the original Armada Galvatron. All right, so it comes with a Minicon robot. So you could see he's a little robot fella, and he has legs. You can fold these up into legs. Okay, and there's his head, and then he's got little arms. See, little hands there. All right. Now, what the Minicons do, and they have a little Minicon symbol. It's kind of like a diamond shape. I don't know if you can see that, but anyway, there's a Minicon shape. And what you can do is you attach the Minicons to your robot, your other robot, and it activates features. That's the idea. So that's supposed to be like a way of powering them up. Okay, so, but this Galvatron is also powered up like I said, because he's got Tidal Wave attached to him. So I'm going to remove Tidal Wave. I just wanted to show you how awesome he looks. The fact that you can snap on all these attachments. You can see right now, this actually is a separate little aircraft carrier you can use. It's got wheels underneath. And then this opens up here. Push these apart. Okay. And then you have that, and then those fold up. And then this, see, these can also be battle modules on their own. This is like a hydroplane vehicle, and then it's got, so it's got these guns. What you can do is you use a Minicon, and you see how this little divot has a little red piece inside. Well, that pushes in, and that allows you to slide this, and that will activate a feature. Because you have these other Minicon attachments. Now, you could buy Minicon sets, little robots like in packs of 3. The Transformers would come with one, sometimes two little Minicons. Actually, you know what? This also fires missiles. So, you know what? I don't know where those are right now. They could be lost, but maybe not. But yeah, so this would fire missiles too, spring-loaded missiles. But so you could stick the Minicons in other areas like, oh, it's powering them up, but then you would stick one in a special area, activate a feature, and that would give it more power. So, all right, so Galvatron here is losing weight, and we're going to take off this final piece here of Tidal Wave, all right? And this can become its own little, like, carrier for little soldiers. I'm going to show you that. Because this lifts up, and then little chairs come down. So you can take other Transformers and they can sit in the little seats. Okay, or you can just fold these over and then fold that down, and then that becomes some kind of, also becomes part of like a ship of some sort. But what this really is, all 3 of these pieces attached together to become Tidal Wave. So I'll show you that after, but let's get over here to Galvatron. All right, so as you can see, once again, the size difference. Now, this gun, if we're going to position it, we can position it in a couple different ways. You can have it where it's in front, and actually, do you see that light up? See, it lights up a little bit, and you can take your Minicon and you put that here and push it in, and then it's supposed to activate a feature. Okay, so I'm going to put the Minicon in vehicle mode, okay? It's better, it's more compact. And then you push that down on here, and then you're supposed to move it, and that has this gun swivel out. And the way it worked before, it's not working totally smooth. Now you can lock it and have it staying out like that. Is that when you could slam it open and it would hit a button and then it would launch both of these missiles. They're spring-loaded, and here's another one, this one right here, okay, and then they would launch from here. But these missiles also can go down into the, they can work for the Megatron big gun there. And this one, though, it doesn't fire that well anymore. So I'm going to show you. But you would pull back on this. Let's see, I think I have to. Okay, it wasn't being very cooperative, but you'd press this back. Oh, it's not cooperating again. It did just fire. I don't know what's happened. It's like the spring. There we go. Okay, so very weak firing mechanism. But it's gotten older, but it looks cool anyway. And you see it lights up. And it used to make a firing sound. And then here's another thing. You can take the Minicon and you would be able to turn this around, and that would make, I think that would make a different firing sound. So it looks like the electronics that did the audio stopped working, as well as the springs. But it is pretty old, but it still looks cool. So you could take this and actually you can reposition it around the back of Megatron, or Galvatron, I keep saying that. And you position it that way, and then that pushes down. All right, so then now you can see similar look. You can put this gun on the other side too, but So it on this side, it's usually on the original way in the cartoon is it's on that side. He even has like some, blackened battle scars. But here's a cool thing. So you have this hand, and you can take your Minicon, and you can put it on here to power up. So like, okay, so now all of a sudden this arm's going to get more powerful. But what it gets more powerful with is it's got like a knife. So he's got a knife that shoots right out of his hand. So you can see, you press that and it goes in. You actually don't need the Minicon to activate it. But you can pretend like, okay, now, his left arm's going to get more powerful. And boom, now he's got like this, energon knife or something to suck the energy out of you. And he can put up his blast shield, so that's pretty cool. But articulation-wise, it's almost, you don't have the knees that bend, but, it doesn't really matter that much. I mean, it's Galvatron. I think that, it costs, I guess, proportionally maybe about the same. 23 years ago, this was $25, and this was, like I said, $45 now to get it new. But being able to add all the armor to it, I think is really cool. So you can, again, put your Minicon right there. And also you can store Minicons inside here. You could stick a Minicon there. You could put Minicons on here. And this is all spring-loaded. So you go like this, and then put that down. And then if you want, you push this button here, and that springs open. And then if Galvatron wants more power, he can now attach more Minicons for more power. And then you have the same thing over here. You can put a Minicon, one or two small ones inside there, stick one on the outside, and then you can even have one like in some kind of launch bed here where you can put a Minicon on either side of this. So it really was about how many Minicons can you stick on your Transformer. So this missile, okay, so that missile attaches in here. So I had these two missiles, and I was thinking, I have my little bucket of missiles. I feel like I have another. And I did, but it's the same all the way except for the end of it. This is one of those friction missiles. So it's something where you have to push against it and then it pops out. So it doesn't work with this Galvatron. What I've discovered over the years is that every Transformer has its own kind of spring-loaded, catch, and you can't use them for any other Transformer almost ever. I think I found one time where you could, but so it won't do anything in here. It doesn't catch on anything. It's not part of it. So I don't know what this goes to. But I thought it was fascinating that they used the upper part that's all the same, but the catch is different. So, I'm going to still keep an eye out because it should have a third one there. All right. Now, just real quick, I could show you, this is pretty cool. So Tidal Wave, as you saw, can attach to Galvatron. Okay, so you can attach that in here, and then these fold up. Let's see if I can remember how this all works. I had this before. Hold on a second. Yeah, so they fold up in there, but what you have to do is turn them around backwards. Like, you have to turn them that way. And you know what that means? That means this is upside down. So that goes in here like this. All right, so that's part of your aircraft carrier. And then this part, also, these move out of the way, if I remember correctly. Let's see here. Okay, so the easier way to show you this is working backwards here real quick. All right, so what I had it like this. Okay, so these move out of the way. They move back. Okay, and then these go out to the side, these pieces here, and then they're going to attach into the sides there and click in. All right, and then you have that. Get this right? Yeah. And then that's going to attach in there. All right. And then these actually open up. Kind of, if I remember, they kind of were positioned like that. Yeah. And then that's tidal wave in like super aircraft carrier mode. And tidal wave could fly too. All right. So that's tidal wave in vehicle form. Now, this, so you can stick mini-cons all over here, here, on the top here, and you know, on the back here. And these, like I said, they can flip up and they can become chairs for larger robots that are a little bit bigger than mini-cons, I suppose. But here's one of the coolest things about tidal wave is where is its mini-con? Well, its mini-con is hidden in here. You push this up. Actually, I think you can push it from the other side here. Push that up, and then there's a little jet. How appropriate, right? That an aircraft carrier should have a jet. And then you see it's like a little jet here, but that folds underneath. And then this comes out. Okay. And this is one of the smallest mini-cons, and it's the only one that will fit inside this tidal wave, you know, bay here. So you definitely don't want to lose it. So you can push it here, and then that you can stick it, and then that goes down. And then that actually, what that's for is that activates the clamp that sticks onto Galvatron's arm. So remember, you know, how I had that? You take it and you can clamp it onto the arm here, and then there's another hand here. You see, then you have these fingers, and look, you even have, you know, fingers that bend, right? And these too. So the hand spreads, and then you have like this hand underneath here, and then this can stick. Well, with the again, the mini-con supposedly powering up this arm, and now Galvatron has a big aircraft carrier arm, you know. So you could put this on either side. You can put it on the other arm. So, you know, the way I had it when we first saw Galvatron, this was on that arm. Okay, so other things the mini-con can do, you can take it off, and then what does it do here? You see there's one of those divots that go inward. You put it here, and then you can move it forward, and then it's like it's allowing those things to move to be able to shoot at the enemies. So it's, you know, again, it's powering up. And, you know, if you just want, those are like the non-active mini-con attachment areas. And then, of course, this mini-con becomes a little robot. And then, now this is one of those that doesn't have legs that open up. They're just kind of together, and then he has his little arms, and then he just stands there or falls over, one or the other. But try to get him to stand. All right, there. Okay, so that's your mini-con. All right, well, we want to definitely see Tidal Wave as a robot because he's really cool, big. All right, so that's going to pull out, and these are going to be the legs. Okay, so I'm going to have to orient those so that the wing is on the outside. Okay, all right, so that's the feet. Okay, there. And then we have the head, which is here. And what we got to do is turn that around, and then that reveals his head. And then these are going to fold down. These are going to be his shoulders. Okay, so it's like that. That's the torso, and then that's going to connect here. All right, but he still doesn't have any arms, right? But you can see he's huge, and Tidal Wave is supposed to be, I think, in Armada, was like the largest transformer. And then this comes apart, And so these also become, not only can they become a Galvatron arm, but they become an arm for Tidal Wave. So just stick that. Somehow I feel like this goes here. Yeah, it's got to go like that. There, like that. Okay, and then the other one. And there, that's Tidal Wave with his little Minicon buddy. So that's the thing about Armada, right? It's kind of, as we've seen with, I was showing you with Energon, which is really an extension of the Armada cartoon. It was a lot of like with Omega Supreme, this does this to this to this, you take Jetfire and Optimus and connect them together, or you can connect them in this way or that way and into Omega Supreme. And the Megatron did the same thing with Tidal Wave, so pretty cool. But you don't get as tall of a robot, right? But you take all these massive parts of Tidal Wave and stick them onto the Galvatron, and it's really cool. And this is supposed to be Legacy, which to me, I don't know, when I hear the word Legacy, I'm like, okay, so you're going to do a really good job. You're going to show us really what it's all about, and it's just not that great. So I'm going to also show you what it looks like in tank form. So all right, so we're going to take Galvatron, make them into tank form. So you're going to turn the legs all the way around like I did here, okay? So this was the front, and they just turn around like that. Then you're going to open up these panels, and you're going to put the arms inside. That closes down. So not only can you put Minicons in there, but when you're converting it into tank mode, you just you put the arms in there. You know it's the right way when you take the Minicon divot here and put it through that hole. That's how you know which way to turn it. Okay, so it goes in there, and then you're just going to take the leg and fold it up like that, and there, and it's like that, and then these popped up again. But okay, so there he is. He's got like a big crab claw thing to eat you, and then he's got his tank missile there, and if you want, you can take, his gun, and then put those there, and then you can take this and stick that onto there, and if he needs more firepower, you can bring that forward, and then that's supposed to fire. Okay, so kind of like a mortar fire, or even the Minicon has little lasers on it, right? So that's Galvatron in tank form. And then the Legacy one, similar. Okay, so you take this, you flip that down. And that's supposed to cover his face so it's not getting dragged through the mud. And then that opens up here. And again, you just stick the hand. Now this one, the hand folds in first and then goes in like that. And again, opens up here. Take that arm, fold that hand in. And then close that, okay, and then I'm going to turn this all the way around, just like the other one. It's going to open up there, like that. And look, you even have like a hint of what the other, Galvatron has, but they don't open. They don't do anything. They just sit there. So again, it's really expensive for something that doesn't have anywhere near the features of the other ones. So there he is, Galvatron, or Megatron actually, because he's green. He turns like silver or, like kind of a grayish color, gray and purple. All right, so you can see the difference in size. No Minicon, no features, But, I guess if you never got this one the first time around, then you don't know what you're missing. But Yeah, so it does have little wheels underneath. And I haven't been able to, this is supposed to lock in somehow, I guess. But, you know, I could fool around with that. I don't know, maybe it doesn't. I'm not seeing how it locks in. But it looks like it just sort of looks like it's supposed to lock in. I don't know. But you get the idea anyway. But this one rolls actually pretty well. So you can see it's got some big wheels underneath too. All right, so there you go. That's everything now. All right, hope you enjoyed that, and I'll be talking to you soon. Take care.